A little something here that's going to be on the radio pretty soon if everything goes right with us. So you turn your dial around, man, and you say, this be this one here. Let's see if we can get a little bass pattern going here.
All right, today I've got something kind of fun for us. I'm going to go over what I feel is Eddie Van Halen's most commonly used guitar lick or guitar phrase. So I went through the entire Van Halen catalog and I've listened to all the guitar solos. So in this video, I'm going to show you album by album where this lick appears and see if you agree with me if this is the most commonly used guitar lick or phrase by Eddie Van Halen. I know there's a lot of other phrases and licks besides this one I'm about to show you that are trademark Eddie Van Halen licks. He was one of the best guitar players ever in our generation, and in my opinion, he is the best rock guitar player of all time. So without further ado, let's take a look at some of these examples. I hope you enjoy the video, and if you do, please like and subscribe to my channel. Thank you. Alright, so interestingly enough, the lick in question does not appear once on the Van Halen I record. Probably because Van Halen were pretty much a live band at the time, and Eddie Van Halen was not used to recording in the studio and would develop his style throughout the years to come. Alright, so here's where the fun begins. The guitar phrase in question shows up for the first time on Van Halen II, and it's an acoustic guitar part in the song Spanish Fly. This guitar lick is the catalyst for all these other licks that are going to be in this video, but listen to the phrasing, not so much the exact notes of the lick itself, but pretty much the way it's played, the way it's phrased, and the note selection. Alright, so that was short and sweet, but check it out. The lick makes another appearance on Van Halen II, but this time in the song DOA. So check out the phrasing in this lick. I think you'll find that it's very, very similar. Alright, so moving on to Women and Children First. This lick makes its first appearance in the song Take Your Whiskey Home. Check it out. Alright, so we got a double shot for Women and Children First. The next song that this makes an appearance on this album is in Simple Rhyme. It's a little more bluesy and a little bit longer, but it's still got the same DNA. Alright, that's it for Women and Children First. Just 2 songs on the album had this lick. So now we're into Fair Warning. On Fair Warning, we kick the album off with Mean Street, and guess what? The lick is in the solo. Alright, so we've got a double shot on Fair Warning. The second song that this lick makes an appearance in is in the song Push Comes to Shove. Now, keep in mind, Eddie was starting to experiment with overdubs and spending a lot more time in the studio. So on Push Comes to Shove, this lick has the same DNA, but it's stretched out over a longer section of the song, and it's a little bit bluesier, a little bit more jazzier based on the style of the song, but it's still got the same genetic DNA. Alright, so now we're on the Diver Down. This album only contains this lick once, and it's in the song Secrets. I read in an interview that the band took a break from the road and recorded this album in 2 weeks. So that may be a reason why this lick only shows up once. Plus, this album was mostly covers anyway. So here you have it, Secrets. Alright, so now we're on to 1984. Believe it or not, this lick makes an appearance on this album in 7 songs. Now in 1984, that album was produced by Van Halen and Don Landee. It was exclusively Eddie and Don Landee working in Eddie's own studio. So Eddie had developed 5150 Studios and produced his first record there, and it was 1984. So when they would comp Eddie's solos together, Eddie might take a solo 4, 5, 6 times, and they would comp sections of the best takes together. So maybe that's why this lick makes so many appearances in 1984. Unlimited studio time, unlimited takes, and him and Don Landy could massage and make these solos sound exactly they wanted to. Anyway, it's pure magic, and the first song it appears in is Jump. Alright, so there we heard it 2 times in the song Jump. It makes its next appearance on 1984 in the song Top Jimmy. Now keep in mind, Eddie's style and the use of this lick slowly over time is starting to get more fusion-y, more avant-garde, a little bit more like Allan Holdsworth. So he's stretching it and massaging it, but it's still got the same DNA from that lick we heard back in Spanish Fly in Van Halen II. Check it out. Alright, so similar to Top Jimmy, we hear the song next in the outro of Drop Dead Legs. Drop Dead Legs is an absolute banger, and this song just kicks butt, but the lick is in the final solo where Eddie just stretches out, and right as the song is about to fade out, we hear Eddie kick into that typical awesome Van Halen phrasing that's in this lick. Check it out, Drop Dead Legs. Alright, so speaking about branching out in this lick just a little bit, the next time we hear it is in the song Hot for Teacher, where Eddie's just ripping it up in this big solo that he does in the middle of the song. So check out Hot for Teacher. Alright, not convinced yet? Check this one out. In the song I'll Wait, we get to hear it in the bluesiest form that I think I've heard this lick played on any Van Halen record. I'll Wait. Alright, so this next example is how Eddie can take this lick from a great ballad like I'll Wait and put it in an absolute shredder like Girl Gone Bad. So here's a version of that phrasing and that lick in Girl Gone Bad. Alright, so just for kicks, I'm going to stretch it just a little bit, but I hear this lick in the song House of Pain. Now House of Pain, there's so much going on with the drums and the rhythm section, it's kind of hard to hear it, but the bare essence of this lick is still in House of Pain. Maybe it's just Eddie's style, maybe it's just the way that he approaches his phrasing or his notes, but it sounds very similar to me, and it's all 100% Eddie. Alright, so it's officially 5150 time. To my ears, the first appearance of this lick on this album is in the song Dreams. It also appears 2 more times on this record. But check it out and see what you think. Here's Dreams. Alright, so according to my ears and what I hear in the phrasing of this lick, the next time I hear it on 5150 is in the song Summer Nights. So listen carefully and you'll probably hear remnants of that lick within this solo. Summer Nights. Okay, so the final time that I hear it in the 5150 album is in the song Love Walks In. So check out this solo. It's pretty obvious. The phrasing is right there, dead on, 100% Eddie Van Halen. Alright, so moving on to OU812. This album has this lick on it 3 times. The first time that we hear it is in the song Mine All Mine. The song is the first song on the album, and it's pretty different for Van Halen. And also this lick is a little bit different. There's pieces of this lick that he repeats within the solo, so check it out. Mine All Mine. All right, so clearly Eddie Van Halen loves to put this lick in his ballads. So the second time that we hear it on this album is in the song When It's Love. Check it out. All right, so the third time that I hear this lick on the album OU812 is in the song AFU. Check out this solo and tell me if you can or cannot hear it. It's in there. All right, so now we're going to step into For Unlawful, Carnal Knowledge. This album was when Eddie debuted the Ernie Ball Music Man Van Halen guitar. By this time in his career, Eddie's style had moved on to a slippery, stereo, eventide, chorusy effect. And it seems like Eddie was in this phase where he was trying to get every little nuance out of every single note. It's almost like he was playing with rubber bands. It's so cool. But it makes it a little bit harder to hear the lick in some of these solos, but it's there. Check out Runaround, the first appearance of this lick on For Unlawful, Carnal Knowledge. Alright, so the second time that we hear this lick on For Unlawful, Carnal Knowledge is in the song Man on a Mission. I almost didn't include this song in this list, but it's close enough. The DNA and the phrasing of this lick is in there, so check it out, Man on a Mission. Okay, so the third time that we hear this lick on the album For Unlawful Carnal Knowledge is in the song Right Now. The DNA of the lick is in there. It's in the very start of the solo. Check it out. And I'm sorry, I've used the term DNA so much, I feel like we're on an episode of Forensic Files. But anyway, here's Van Halen, Right Now. All right, so now that brings us to the album balance. At this point in Eddie's career, it seems like he has expanded his musical vocabulary and his solo style even further beyond what we'd seen before. It's a lot slipperier, it's a lot more chromatic, there's a lot more whammy bar, a lot more wah-wah pedal. The solo in the song Don't Tell Me actually contains this lick, but that's the only song on this album Balance that includes this lick. Check it out. Don't Tell Me. All right, so believe it or not, that brings us to Van Halen III. And yes, I'm going to cover that album. I know most of us probably don't want to admit that that album exists, but it does. Trust me, it's on Apple Music, it's on Spotify, it's on YouTube. The album exists, and so does the lick. It appears 2 times on Van Halen III. Check it out, it's in One I Want. Alright, so the second and final song that it appears on Van Halen III is in the song Year to the Day. Without further ado, take it away, Eddie. Alright, the last Van Halen record was Different Kind of Truth. I listened to every solo in this album and I couldn't find a remnant of this lick anywhere. Maybe it's due to the massive amount of time that Van Halen had between releasing records. So stylistically, Eddie probably changed again. There is a little bit at 2:45 in Honey Baby Sweetie Doll. So if anybody wants to check out at the 2:45 mark of that song, I kind of heard it in there, but at the last minute I decided to take it out of this video. So Different Kind of Truth, the lick doesn't exist. No DNA remnants, nothing. So there you go. Alright, lastly, I listened to the Best Of album and I listened to the Best of Both Worlds album. The 2 songs that they did with David Lee Roth in the 90s for the, quote, reunion, didn't have any of the solo, any of the signature licks in it that we're talking about. Me Wise Magic is one song, and Can't Get This Stuff No More. Both great tunes, but this lick is nowhere to be found. However, in Best of Both Worlds, if you check that out, it is apparent on that album, and it's in the song Up for Breakfast. Here we go. All right, so this was a pretty fun experiment. Some of you probably think I'm absolutely crazy because clearly these licks from start to finish are not note for note the same. But what I'm looking at is a very close similarity in style, note selection, and phrasing. Mostly to me, I think it's the phrasing and the way that he approaches this particular riff in the solos. It's very eye-opening for me also to look back at this catalog and see how Eddie morphed from where he started to where he finished. All of it is pure genius and excellent. All in all, there was 27 examples in this video. It's fun to see how Van Halen's tone and the way that he approached the whammy bar, his chromatic note selections, all of that changed throughout his career. But his phrasing and his fingerprint remain the same. I think it's very obvious that no matter how you look at each one of these riffs, you can tell where they originated from, the man who played them, and that they're all very, very similar and come from the same place. Again, thanks for watching. I appreciate the viewership. Comment below what you think. If there's any riffs that I've missed, let me also know. If there's others that you want to talk about, I'd love to see it in the comments. Like the video, subscribe, and look forward to doing more of these for you in the future.